Get ready for the biggest stories hitting your feed right now. We start with the critical geopolitical tension surrounding Taiwan's chips. Ike Freeman, a Hoover Fellow at Stanford University and author of Defending Taiwan, a strategy to prevent war with China, is sounding the alarm about how a serious disruption to Taiwan's chip exports could dwarf anything seen in the post-war period. We dive deep into why Taiwan matters geographically, politically, and economically in this high-stakes global race for technological domination.
Stop using your finger for notes, sketches, and edits. This Jam Jake stylus pen gives your iPad a smoother, more precise writing feel with palm rejection so your hand can rest naturally on the screen. It charges fast, works for hours, and comes with replacement tips. Perfect for school, work, or creative projects. Check the link in the comments to grab it on Amazon.
Next up, we look at the intense competition in the packaging space. The tight CoWoS supply from TSMC is forcing a major shift, as SK Hynix is reportedly pushing to collaborate with Intel on advanced 2.5D packaging solutions. This move is a clear signal of the industry's frantic effort to diversify the supply chain for crucial AI accelerators, showing how the demand for cutting-edge components is reshaping manufacturing partnerships. But the race for innovation doesn't stop there. We are seeing major players joining forces to accelerate the future of AI hardware. Applied Materials and TSMC are deepening their collaboration at Applied's EPIC Center in Silicon Valley to develop new materials and equipment for next-generation logic devices and advanced packaging. This partnership is crucial as chipmakers fight to improve power efficiency and performance for massive AI workloads. And finally, we look at the strong performance driving this entire sector forward. Taiwan-based firm Trustful has reported record revenue for the first quarter of 2026, fueled by TSMC's expansion and soaring global AI computing demand. Trustful's growth in the US and Japan markets shows how companies are strategically positioning themselves globally. Don't miss the full breakdown of these massive tech shifts. Stay with us. Taiwan's semiconductor industry, spearheaded by TSMC, is central to the global economy, powering everything from smartphones and electric vehicles to the cutting edge of artificial intelligence. Analysts warn that a serious disruption to Taiwan's chip supply would trigger an economic shock dwarfing post-war events, impacting nearly every sector dependent on advanced computing. This vulnerability stems from three interconnected factors: geographic positioning, political stakes, and economic dependency. Geographically, Taiwan sits at a critical nexus in the first island chain, granting potential control over the open Pacific to Beijing's naval forces. Politically, the status of Taiwan is intrinsically linked to China's national rejuvenation goals, making its resolution a key determinant of regional order and global technological dominance. Economically, TSMC manufactures approximately 90% of the world's most advanced semiconductors and 99% of chips used for training frontier AI models. The danger lies not necessarily in direct invasion, but in indirect coercion. China possesses methods, such as maritime quarantine and customs inspections, to choke Taiwan's economy without physically seizing production facilities. Furthermore, the U.S. strategy of creating a silicon shield through export controls faces significant enforcement hurdles due to the complex global supply chains involving third countries. Experts caution that the silicon shield is overrated. If a conflict escalated, the physical destruction or sabotage of TSMC's fabs is highly likely, as they rely on specialized equipment, chemicals, and a highly skilled workforce that may not remain under Chinese control. The more realistic threat involves Beijing gaining indirect control, forcing the world into a choice between accepting a Chinese-controlled economic chokehold or attempting a counter-embargo that could fragment global trade. Observers suggest that future engagement may involve strategic adjustments, such as trade-offs concerning rare earths or agricultural purchases in exchange for easing some export controls. However, loosening controls entirely is viewed as a strategic misstep, as it could create an unsustainable dependency on Chinese-subsidized chipmakers. The core issue remains the concentration of humanity's most critical manufacturing capacity on a single island, without sufficient redundancy, framing the situation not just as a Taiwan problem, but as a critical choice made by the rest of the world. Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing companies, TSMC, constrained supply of CoWoS packaging is reportedly accelerating a strategic shift within the industry. This bottleneck is prompting SK Hynix to collaborate with Intel on advanced packaging solutions. The move signals a concerted effort across the sector to diversify and secure the supply chain for 2.5D packaging, a critical component for next-generation AI accelerators. Industry analysts view this partnership as a direct response to the high demand and supply limitations surrounding these sophisticated packaging technologies. TSMC and Applied Materials are intensifying their collaboration with a new strategic partnership aimed at accelerating semiconductor technologies essential for artificial intelligence. The joint effort will focus on developing novel materials, equipment, and process technologies, targeting next-generation logic devices and advanced packaging at Applied Materials, EPIC Center in Silicon Valley. This partnership addresses the mounting pressure on chip makers to enhance power efficiency and performance for demanding AI workloads, while simultaneously managing the complexity inherent in advanced process nodes and three-dimensional device architectures. The collaboration underscores a broader industry shift toward reshaping R&D models to expedite the transition from research breakthroughs to high-volume manufacturing, highlighting the critical role of materials engineering and process integration in the global race for AI semiconductor leadership. The core of the collaboration will utilize Applied's EPIC Center, a significant long-term investment projected to reach approximately $5 billion. This facility is strategically designed to compress the timeline for commercializing emerging semiconductor technologies by integrating chip makers and equipment engineers earlier in the development cycle. Key areas of joint work include advancing process technologies for leading-edge logic scaling, developing new materials and manufacturing equipment for intricate 3D transistor structures, and creating advanced integration techniques to boost yield and reliability. Gary Dickerson, President and CEO of Applied Materials, stated that the collaboration strengthens their long-standing relationship and accelerates development to tackle the unprecedented complexity of the chip-making roadmap. Dr. YJ Meh, Executive Vice President and Co-Chief Operating Officer at TSMC, emphasized that meeting global AI demands requires industry-wide cooperation, positioning the EPIC Center as the ideal environment to advance equipment and process readiness. Applied Materials also noted that the EPIC Center will grant customers earlier access to R&D programs and next-generation tools, while providing the company with enhanced visibility into future technology requirements across various process nodes. Dr. Prabhu Raja, president of the Semiconductor Products Group at Applied Materials, asserted that this model of collaboration is necessary to advance leading foundry technologies and speed up the path to high-volume manufacturing for TSMC. Taiwan-based semiconductor facility engineering firm Trustful has reported robust financial results for the first quarter of 2026, fueled by surging global demand for AI computing, TSMC's aggressive expansion of 2nm process and advanced packaging capabilities, and ongoing fab construction across the semiconductor, high-tech, and memory sectors. Trustful's consolidated revenue for the first 4 months of 2026 reached $2.02 billion, a $64 million, marking a 9.7% year-on-year increase. First quarter 2026 consolidated revenue jumped 14% year-on-year to $1.54 billion, while operating profit saw a significant 26% rise to $216 million. Net profit after tax climbed 16% to $179 million, with earnings per share reaching $3.63, up 9% from the previous year. These record highs were driven by 3 primary growth engines: the construction of advanced process facility systems, secondary distribution engineering services, and green manufacturing process solutions. While April revenue showed a quarterly decline of 29.1% and a year-on-year decrease of 2.1% to NT $480 million, the company noted that order visibility remains high, and improvements in project cost structure and construction efficiency are enhancing profitability. Gross, operating, and net margins for the first quarter of 2026 stood at 24%, 14%, and 12%, respectively, all showing improvement compared to the same period in 2025. Demand for advanced semiconductor process equipment and facility engineering services continues to accelerate, leading to increasingly compressed customer project schedules. Trustful is strategically expanding its global footprint, extending its service operations into the U.S. and Japanese markets to align with the diversification of production capacity among major semiconductor clients. In Japan, Trustful has established a technical team in Kumamoto to support second-phase fab projects, integrating precision facility liquid supply systems with local supply chains to expedite the timeline between construction completion and equipment installation, making Japan its most stable overseas contribution region. In the U.S., the company has adopted a flexible operational strategy to navigate high labor costs and complex regulations, utilizing a Taiwan technology, U.S. execution model by recruiting local engineering teams alongside core technical consultants to manage regulatory hurdles while maintaining stringent quality standards for time-sensitive advanced process projects. Overseas order releases are anticipated to provide further momentum for the company's overall operations.